Om Tava Kathamritam Tapta Jeevanam Kavibhireeditam Kalmashapaham Sravanamangalam Srimadadatam Bhuvigrinantiye Bhurida Janaha. My apologies for being so today inordinately late. So the Sandhya merges into Gayatri and Gayatri merges into Om. This was the discussion. The Gayatri mantra is the Gayatri meter, and the deity of Gayatri is also called the Gayatri Devi, and she is worshipped and adored as Savitri and Saraswati during Madhyana and Sayankala respectively. Gayatri, Savitri and Saraswati are the three names by which she is worshipped. And no mantra is fit for employment in religious acts unless the meter, the deity and the seer are also remembered. The meter is Gayatri Chandas, and the Rishi is Vishwamitra, and the deity is Savitri. Then the formula for Gayatri is personified for meditation. These are all said upasana, visualizing the deity, remembering also the Rishi who is the mantra drashta, and the meter in which this mantra is pronounced. Agni, the first of gods, is the mouth. Brahma, the firstborn, is the head. Vishnu is the heart. Rudra is the shikha or flame, causing the final dissolution and placed at the top. The earth is the yoni, the source. The wings are the breath. Fairness is the hue, indicative of highest purity. Knowledge of family is necessary to assess the greatness of an individual, and so it is stated that Gayatri is the same Gotra as Brahman. Sankhyahi iyate jnanibhi prapyate iti Sankhyayana sanmatram Brahma. So, just like ordinary human beings are born in some Gotra, the Gayatri Devi's Gotra is Brahman itself. It's called Parabrahma Gotra. Those of you who were attached to the Ramakrishna tradition may know that whenever you worship Sharada Devi, then we think of Sharada as belonging to Parabrahma Gotra. When the Durga Puja was celebrated at Belur Mutt, Swami Vivekananda and Swami Brahmananda initiated the puja. Swamiji had a dilemma. In whose name Sankalpa should be done? Sankalpa is a resolve which is usually uttered at the beginning of the puja. Durga Puja, Aham Karishyami, etc. Chandi Patha, the reading of the Devi Mahatmya, which is also done starting from the Shashti up to Navami, Shashthyam Tithavarabhya Mahanavamim Yavat. That is the mantra. In whose name should the Durga Puja be performed, and in whose name should there be reading of the Chandi? Swami Vivekananda said, we are all sannyasins, and therefore no ritual can be performed in our names. So let us do it in the name of Sharada Devi. Everybody agreed, there was great joy. Even now, to this day, after 100 years, Durga Puja at Belur Mutt and all the centers of the Ramakrishna order, and people who follow the Ramakrishna Sampradaya, all of them perform Durga Puja in the name of Sharada Devi. How? Parabrahma Gotrayaha Sri Sarada Mani Devyaha. In the name of Sharada Devi, Sharada Mani Devi of Parabrahma Gotra. Sharada Devi is supposed to belong to Parabrahma Gotra, Brahma Gotra. And what is the purpose for which it is done? In the Durga Puja mantra it is said, Ramakrishna Sanghasta Nikhila Sanyasi Brahmacharinam Vairagya Jnana Bhakti Vruddhaye Bhagavad Bhaktanam Bhagavad Bhakti Spuranaya Cha. For the Vairagya, Jnana and Bhakti, Vairagya, dispassion for the world, complete disinterest in worldly pursuits and worldly pleasures, Jnana, knowledge, spiritual knowledge, Bhakti, devotion to the Supreme Being, in order that Vairagya, Jnana and Bhakti shall increase. Vairagya, Jnana, Bhakti, Vruddhaye, of whom Ramakrishna Sanghastha, Nikhila, Sannyasi, Brahmacharinam. For all the Brahmacharis, the novices, and the sannyasis, the monks, for all of them, Vairagya, Jnana, Bhakti, Vriddhi. And for the Bhagavad Bhaktanam, for all the devotees of Ramakrishna, for all the devotees all over the world, of all gods and goddesses, Bhagavad Bhakti Spurana. Their devotion to God, to spiritual pursuits, and absorption in God consciousness should increase more and more. So with this sankalpa, with this resolve, with this vow, the pujari says, I am performing this Durga Puja for the benefit of the whole world. There, Sharadamani Devi has been mentioned as belonging to Parabrahma Gotra. So the Gayatri mantra, she is the embodiment of Gayatri. We take Sharada Devi to be Gayatri, Savitri and Saraswati. Sri Ramakrishna also said, Sarada is Sharada, Saraswati, Jnanadayini. She is the granter of knowledge. She has come to give spiritual and secular knowledge to everybody. So, she, Gayatri, is the same Gotra as Brahman. She is called Parabrahma Gotra. The form of Gayatri mantra is then described. It has 3 feet of 8 syllables each. So 24. 3 into 8 is 24. 6 sheaths or auxiliaries of the Vedas which protect the Vedas, represented by Gayatri like a sheath. 5 heads consisting of 4 Vedas and Itihasa and Purana, which is known as 5th Veda, Panchama Veda. These details about Gayatri are recited before a brahmachari or a sadhaka is initiated into studentship and Gayatri is instructed. This is the mantra which he has given, and this should be chanted immediately after Gayatri Avahana. We read out the Gayatri Avahana. O Gayatri Devi, I am now going to invoke you. The invocation of the Gayatri is mentioned here. Ayatu Varada Devi Aksharam Brahma Sammitam Gayatri Chandasam Matedam Brahma Jushasvanaha. May the boon conferring Varada, divine Gayatri, come to us in order to instruct us about the imperishable Brahman who is determined by the Vedanta. May Gayatri, the mother of meters, favor us with the supreme just mentioned. Then there is a very remarkable mantra in which it says, O Gayatri, you are the essence of strength. You are patience, fortitude. You are subduing power. You are physical capacity. You are splendor. You are the abode of gods and their names. You are the insentient universe. You are the full span of life and the Lord of all. You are every living thing. You are the lifespan of all. You are the vanquisher of all that is hostile to us. You are the truth denoted by Gayatri and denoted by Pranava Mantra. So I invoke Gayatri into my heart. I invoke Savitri into my heart. I invoke the splendor into my heart. Then he gives the details of what I just now read. Who is the Rishi, who is the deity, and so on. Description of the Gayatri deity herself. This is a wonderful prayer. Just like the prayer there in the Vedas. Ojosi, Ojo Mayidhehi, Balamasi, Balam Mayidhehi, Bhrajosi, Bhrajo Mayidhehi, Manyurasi, Manyum Mayidhehi. You are Ojas, power, strength, and please grant unto me Ojas. You are Bhraja, means splendor, spiritual light, consciousness, and grant unto us spiritual splendor. Balamasi balam mayidhehi, you are the bala, not only the physical strength, bahubala, but also the buddhi bala, the intellectual power, and the atma bala, which is a spiritual strength. You are all these three together. Grant unto me the bala. Similarly, here also it is mentioned what are the various splendors and the glories of Gayatri. Ojosi, Sahosi, Balamasi, Bhrajosi, Devanam Dhamanamasi, Vishwamasi, Vishwayuhu, Sarvamasi, Sarvayuhu, Abhibhurom Gayatri Mavahayami, Savitri Mavahayami, Saraswati Mavahayami. I invoke Gayatri, Savitri and Saraswati, Shriya Mavahayami. I invoke Shri, splendor, prosperity, spiritual glory. Gayatriya, Gayatri, Chandaha. For the Gayatri, the Chandas is Gayatri. Vishwamitra Rishi. The Rishi is Vishwamitra. Savita Devata. The Devata is Savitri or Savita, who is symbolized by the sun. Agnir Mukham. Brahma Shiraha. Just now I mentioned this. Agni is the mouth or the mukha. Brahma is the head. Vishnu Hridayam. Vishnu is the heart. Rudra Shikha. The Shikha is Rudra, the crown hair. Prithvi Yonihi. The source, the Yoni, is the Prithvi, Prana, Pana, Vyano, Dana, Samana, Saprana. Prana, Apana, Vyana, Udana, Samana. These are the breaths of Gayatri. Saprana, Shveta Varna. Gayatri is Shveta Varna, extremely splendorous in complexion, in hue, and Saprana, along with vitality, Sankhyayana Sagotra. Sankhyayana Sagotra is mentioned here, meaning Sankhyahi iyate jnanibhi prapyate iti Sankhyayana Sanmatram Brahma. There is the explanation perhaps given by Shayanacharya. Sankhyayana Sagotra. The Gotra of Gayatri Devi is Sankhyayana Gotra. What is Sankhyayana Gotra? Parabrahma. That's why, as I said, Ma Sharada Devi is invoked, worshipped as Parabrahma Gotra Sharada Devya. Sankhyahi iyate jnanibhi prapyate. By Sankhya, Sankhya here means knowledge. By knowledge it is known and it is attained by jnanis. It is Sankhyayana. What is that? Sanmatram Brahma. It is Brahma which is Sanmatram. Sat is existence and Brahman is Sat Chit Ananda Swarupa. This is well known in Vedanta. It is Sat Swarupa, it is Chit Swarupa, it is Ananda Swarupa. Sat Chit Ananda is the nature of Brahman. Sat is existence, Chit is consciousness, and Ananda is joy. Existence, consciousness, and joy are not relative. Relatively, I exist for some time, and after some time, I don't exist. I am conscious now, again, I may lose consciousness in sleep. I am happy now, but I may not be happy after some time. It is not relative like in the case of human life. It is therefore called existence absolute, knowledge absolute, and joy or happiness absolute, bliss absolute. Absolute means it is not relative. It is not conditioned by time, space, or causation, and therefore it is absolute, indestructible, everlasting, and beyond relativity, non-relative or absolute. The joy that we normally talk about in the world is the joy which comes and goes. Today I am joyful, tomorrow I am miserable. Because all the joy that usually get comes from the senses. And the senses give us joy which comes from touch. Sparsha. All joy comes from sparsha. Is called sparshaja bhoga in the Bhagavad Gita. And the sparshaja bhoga, the enjoyment which comes through sparsha, ultimately lead you to sorrow. Sparshaja bhoga dukkhayo nayayevate adyanta vandak kaunte yanateshu ramate buddha. Ye is sparshaja bhoga. These sparshaja bhoga, the enjoyment which comes through sparsha, is dukkha yoni. It is the source of dukkha only. Because it has a beginning and end. It begins when you begin to touch something or somebody, and it ends when the touch is withdrawn. Adyantavanta kaunteya nateshu ramate buddhaha. A wise man, an intelligent man, an awakened man, an enlightened person does not rejoice in that kind of joy. The Bhagavad Gita talks about two kinds of sparsha, touch. One is Vishaya Samsparsha, which I just now talked about. Sansparshaja bhoga dukkhayonaya evate. The other is Brahma Samsparsha. The Samsparsha which comes from Brahman. Brahman is touching you as it were, and because the touch of Brahman, you are awakened and you experience undying, undecaying, undiminishing joy. Absolute joy. This is the joy which is called Ananda. Sukha is usually used for temporary, transient pleasure. Ananda is the word which is used for joy, which is everlasting. Brahma samsparsham atyandam sukham ashnute. Through Brahma samsparsha, we get atyanta sukha, which is extraordinary, undying, undiminishing joy. Sukha, since it is usually associated with diminishing, changing, transient happiness, here the Visheshana is used as Atyantam. Atyantam means extraordinarily great, huge, infinite. So Sat Chit Ananda Swarupa is the nature of Brahman, and therefore this Sankhyahi iyate jnanabhi prapyate Sankhyayana Sanamatram Brahma. This Brahman, which is called Sankhyayana, is of the nature of existence, knowledge and bliss, Sat Chit Ananda Swarupa. So he says Sankhyayana Gotra Gayatri. That means the Gotra of the Gayatri Devi is the same as the Gotra of Brahman. Since Brahman doesn't have birth or death, Gayatri Devi also is everlasting, doesn't have birth or death. Na jayate mriyate va kutaschan nayam bhutva bhavita va na bhuyah ajo nitya shashvato yam purano na hanyate hanyamane sharire. The Bhagavad Gita and the Kathopanishad have both in the same verses with some changes. So this is undying, unborn, eternal, nitya, shashvata, permanent. So Gayatri Devi has this kind of gotra like Brahman. Gayatri Chadurvimshat Yakshara. How many letters that Gayatri have? It is divided into 4 padas, each consisting of 8 letters. So 8 into 4, it is 24 syllables. And Tripada, it's called Tripada, 3 into 8, 24, not 4 padas, Tripada. 3 feet. That means each is called a pada in any chandas or a meter, as in poetry. So 1, 2, 3. 3 padas, each consisting of 8 letters. So Chaturvimshat Yakshara, 24 lettered, Shad Kukshihi, 6 sheaths or cavities, and Panchashirsha Upanayane Viniyogaha. Panchashirsha is 5 heads. This is employed in Upanayana or initiation into Vedic studentship. This is a very, very important mantra. I will chant this together again because the meaning more or less we have understood. Ojosi Sahosi Balamasi Bhrajosi Devanam Dhamanamasi Vishwamasi Vishwayur Sarvamasi Sarvayur Abhibhurum Gayatri Mavahayami Savitri Mavahayami Saraswati Mavahayami Chandarshi Navahayami Shriya Mavahayami Gayatriya Gayatri Chandaha Vishwamitra Rishi Savita Devataha Agnirmukham Brahma Shiraha Vishnur Hridayam Rudra Shikha Prithvi Yonihi Pranapana Vyanodana Samana Saprana Shvetavarna Sankhyayana Sagotra Gayatri Chaturvimshatyakshara Tripada Shatkukshihi Panchashirshopanayane Viniyogaha. This is the mantra. The commentary in Sanskrit by Swami Vivekananda ji, which is a very simple Sanskrit based upon Shayana's Bhashya. I read the original, whose English translation I just now read to you. He Gayatri Tvam Ojaha Bala Hetu Bhuta Ashtama Dhatu Rupa Asi. You are Bala Hetu Bhuta. Saha Sahishnutvam Dhairyam Asi. Sahosi, Saha means Sahishnutva, Dhairyam. This is very important quality. Bala is strength. But those who are extremely strong, there are a lot of bala, try to manifest their strength to bully others and give trouble to others. They are usually impatient. They get angry, they get impatient. They can't tolerate others. Saha sahishnutvam dhairyam asi. You are dhairya, sahishnutvam, embodiment of patient. In the present day, this is extremely important. One of the deep maladies of the present day society is that people can't bear with one another. People can't tolerate one another. They can't live in harmony with one another. So in the very beginning it is mentioned, O Gayatri Devi, you are the embodiment of Bala. You are the embodiment of Dhairya, Sahishnuta. Then, Ojas, Balam, Bhraja, Deepti Rupa Asi. You are a Bhraja. That means you are the embodiment of splendor, spiritual splendor, luminosity. Agnyadinam devata devanam dhama swargam indradinamascha namacha asi. You are the abode of the gods and their names. All the gods and goddesses reside in you. We call this Sarva Deva Devi Swarupa. About Sri Ramakrishna we say, is Sarva Deva Devi Swarupa. About Sharadamani Devi we feel, she is Sarva Deva Devi Swarupini. In the mantra we say, Om Aim Sarva Deva Devi Swarupaya Sri Ramakrishnaya Namaha. I worship, I bow down to that Ramakrishna who is the embodiment of all gods and goddesses. All the gods and goddesses are included in and subsumed in the form of Ramakrishna if you believe Ramakrishna and take him as your Ishtadevata. Om Aim Hrim Sarvadeva Devi Swarupaya Sri Sarada Sarvadeva Devi Swarupinyai Sri Sarada Devyai Namaha. But the Srilinga, it will not be Swarupaya as in the case of Ramakrishna, it will be Swarupinyai Sarada Devyai Namaha. So he says, you are the abode of all gods and goddesses. Agnyadinam Devanam Dhama Swargam Indradinama Cha Asi. Vishwam Achetanam Sarva Jagadrupamasi. You are the entire universe of all insentient beings. The mountains and the oceans and the forests, all that is contained in this universe which does not have consciousness like animals and human beings, all that is you. Just like in the Chandi, Devi Mahatmya it is mentioned, Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Chetanetyabhidiyate Namastasye 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 Namo Namaha. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Matra Rupena Samsthita Namastasye 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 Namo Namaha. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Nidra Rupena Samsthita Namastasye 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 Namo Namaha. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Kanti Rupena Samsthita Namastasye 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 Namo Namaha. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Lakshmi Rupena Samsthita Namastasye 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 Namo Namaha. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Buddhi Rupena Samsthita Namastasye 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 Namo Namaha. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Bhranti Rupena Samsthita Namastasye 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 Namo Namaha. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Shraddha Rupena Samsthita Namastasye 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 Namo Namaha. So many mantras, one by one, one by one. You will see the beauty of these mantras. She remains as Kanti, splendor. She remains as Kshudha, hunger. She is also the Nidra, sleep. When we're overpowered by sleep and we sleep off, that's also because of the power of the Devi. She remains as Nidra in all beings. She overpowers everybody through sleep. And everybody feels hungry. That's also the form of Divine Mother Durga. She is Buddhi Rupena Samsthita. She is Buddhi, intelligence, Medha. At the same time, she is also Bhranti. Bhranti is confusion. Bhranti is lack of knowledge, Ajnana, ignorance. But at the same time, she is Shraddha, the higher faculty of intuition by which you have a peep into the higher world of consciousness. She is Medha, she is Shraddha. At the same time, she is Bhranti. So, all that exists in the world is only she. That's the idea. So, it is said here that she is the Chetana Swarupa. Vishwam Jagadrupam Masi. Vishwayuhu Sarvesham Annam Athava Sampurna Ayuhu Swarupa Asi. Vishwa Ayu. She is the Ayu. Ayu is the how much age each person has. You remain in everybody as Ayu. You give Ayu, you give strength. Sampurna Ayu Swarupa. You are the embodiment of complete full Ayu. Chetana Rupa Jagat Sarvamasi. says you are Sarvamasi, you are everything. Chetana, Achetana, the entire Jagat is only pervaded by you. Isha Vasyamidam Sarvam Yatkincha Jagatyam Jagat. So the entire world is being pervaded by you, covered and enveloped by you. Abhibhuhu Sarvasya Vairanaha Papasya Nasha Hetuhu Asi. Abhibhu means overpower. You overpower, you destroy. What do you destroy? You destroy the papa, the sin of all people. Om Pranava Pratipadya cha asi. Abhibhuhu Om. Om is Pranava mantra, Omkara, and you are the embodiment of Omkara. She is embodied by Omkara, she is manifested in Hrinkara, Shrinkara. So many Bija mantras are mentioned. All Bija mantras ultimately merge into Om, which is the essence of the whole of Vedas. And it is all pervading, and it subsumes in it all knowledge. Yas Chandasam Rishabho Vishwarupaha. Taittiriya Upanishad says Chandasam Rishabha. Rishabha means the king, supreme. It is supreme word in all of the Vedas. Vishwarupaha. It is omnipresent. It is present everywhere. All forms of everything in this world is of the form of Omkara. Pranava Pratipadya cha asi. You are the Pratipadya, manifested, explained, revealed by Pranava mantra. The moment we chant the Pranava, the Supreme Brahman is realized. For very, very highly advanced sadhakas, like Ramakrishna for example, the moment he said Om, he was absorbed in Samadhi. Tadrashim Gayatrim Madiye Manasi Avahayami. So this kind of Gayatri, who is she? Who is possessed of Ojas, she is possessed of Saha, Bala, Dhairya, Praja, Deepti, who is the abode of all the gods and goddesses, who is Vishwa, who is Vishwayu, who is Sarva, who is Sarvayu, who is Abhibhu, who is Om Pranava Swarupa. This kind of Gayatri, Tadrashim Gayatrim Madiye Manasi Avahayami. That Gayatri I am invoking in my heart. Gayatrim Avahayami, Savitrim Avahayami, Saraswatim Avahayami. I invoke this kind of Gayatri in my heart. I invoke Saraswati in my heart. I invoke Savitri in my heart. As I said, Gayatri is the Devi who is invoked in Prata Sandhya Vandana, morning practices. Madhyanika, Savitri is invoked, and Sayam Sandhya, Savitri is invoked. Gayatri, Savitri, Saraswati. Chandasi Rishischa Shriyamcha Sarvam Eka Gayatriavahane Atmani Avahayami. By invoking the Gayatri, I am simultaneously together invoking the Chanda, Rishi, and the Shri, the prosperity and the splendor. Which is the Chanda of Gayatri? The Gayatri Devi, the goddess, of Gayatri is expressed through the meters, the chandas of Gayatri itself. The chanda, the meter is also called Gayatri. Gayatri is the Devi, and the mantra is also called Gayatri because it is in the Gayatri chandas. Chandasam Mata, it is said. It is the supreme, the mother of all chandas. The Bhagavan Sri Krishna says in the Vibhuti Yoga in the Dashamodhyaya, 10th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, where he talks about his various excellences. What are the various excellences of Bhagavan? Where he can be clearly seen, identified, where he reveals in a very special way. Which are they? He goes on listing among the various chandas, Sanskrit prosody meters. He says, I remain as the Gayatri. Gayatri chandasamaham. Among the various chandas, I remain as the Gayatri. Gayatri chanda Vishwamitra Rishihi. The story of Vishwamitra is well known. How Vishwamitra and Vasishtha went into a tussle. Ultimately, Vishwamitra had to accept the superiority of Atmabala over the Kshatra Bala, Buddhi Bala and Bahubala. The physical strength, the intellectual strength, all of them have to bow down and will be vanquished by the Atmabala, because the Atmabala subsumes all other Bala. This is Swami Vivekananda's statement about India. India will again rise and become great, not by the power of anything else worldly, not by the power of the flesh, not by the power of wealth, but by the power of the Atman, Atmabala, by the power of spirituality. To conserve and preserve these great spiritual forces has been the mission of India. And when the time is propitious, this spiritual force, the conserved and preserved spiritual force, will burst upon society, and entire society will be inundated, plavana, by the flood of spirituality. This is Swamiji's great message for India, and we are the children of the rishis. This Gayatri Mantra has been revealed to us by Vishwamitra, who was declared by Vasishtha finally as the Brahmarshi. So in meditation he saw the mantra in golden letters, Suvarnakshara. It is mentioned, Swami Vivekananda says, I have seen so many mantras in letters of gold. Gold here means Chaitanya. Chaitanya or consciousness is usually referred as Suvarna Varna. The Varna, the color of Chaitanya is supposed to be golden color. And the description of the Saguna Brahman is also mentioned. His entire body is Swarnamaya, golden. And it's also said the beard that he has of Hiranyagarbha is also golden. Apranikar sarvayeva suvarnaha. There's a funny story which I want to share. There's a Swami Agamanandaji in Kerala, in Kaladi, who is an extremely powerful orator and very knowledgeable in scriptures. In those days, I am talking about pre-independence days, nearly 80, 90 years ago, Christian domination was tremendous in Kerala. Conversion was taking place right and left. And he stood like a bulwark trying to propagate the powerful Hindu religion, the Sanatana Vedic Dharma. Often he used to get into arguments with the Christians. So in intellectual debate with the Christian scholars, it seems they said, you talk about Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, you are the worshippers of Ramakrishna, and you call him the avatara, the incarnation of God, the embodiment of Ishvara or God. Agamananda said, yes, we believe he is the incarnation of God, he is the avatara. Then they heckled him saying, can you say where in the scriptures it is mentioned the avatara will have a beard, dadi? Immediately he said, Shvarna smashru apranikar sarvayeva suvarnaha, the Chandogya Upanishad description of Hiranyagarbha or Saguna Brahman. Even his beard is also golden. That means it is consciousness. Till up to the end of the nails, the whole thing is made of consciousness. Divine consciousness, Chaitanya. Swami Vivekananda also wrote in that famous hymn, for the Aratrika hymn, Khandana Bhava Bandhana Jaga Vandana Vandi Tomai. There he says, Chid Ghana Kaya. His Kaya, his body is also Chid Ghana, condensed Chaitanya as it were. Chid Ghana Kaya. It's also called in the Vaishnava Shastras as a Bhagavati Tanu or Bhagavati Tanu. His Tanu, his very body, is only Bhagavanmaya, Chinmaya, Chinmatra Swarupa, Brahma Swarupa. Brahma Rupam Adi Madhya Sesha Sarva Bhasakam. There's a beautiful stotra, Brahma Rupa. He is of the embodiment of Brahma Swarupa. Vishwamitra is a great sage, through whose blessings we have got the Gayatri Mantra. Vishwamitra Rishi, Savita Devata. Who is the Devata? Devata is Savitri, Savita. Savita is also the sun, the Surya Devata. And Surya is the Pratyaksha Devata. So we stand before the Surya and see the resplendent sun giving us life, giving us energy, giving us light, and providing heat to the earth. Constantly. So he is a Pratyaksha Devata, because of whose grace we are able to live and breathe on this earth. So you symbolize this sun as Savitri, the divine, Jnana Swarupini, because the sun destroys darkness. In exactly the same way, Chaitanya Jyoti destroys the darkness of ignorance, ajnana. Ajnanena avratam jnanam tena muhyanti jantavaha jnanena tu tadajnanam esham nashitam atmanaha tesham adityavajnanam prakashayati tatparam. Adityavajnanam prakashayati. The prakasha is manifested as adityavat, like the great sun. Savita Devata, Agnihi Mukham, Brahma Shirah. You think of the Gayatri Devi, just like we have a head and mouth and heart and so on. Since it is said that all the Devatas reside in Gayatri, we saw just now, Agnyadinam Devata Devanam Dhama. He is the Dhama, abode of all the various Devatas. So it is said Agni is the Mukha, the mouth, the face, In Sanskrit, Mukha means the face, Mukha also means the mouth. Brahma is the Shira, head, Vishnu, Hridayam, the heart, Rudra, Shikha, the crown hair, Prithvi, Yonihi, the source, Pranapana, Vyanodana, Samana, Sapranaha. The prana, the breath of the Gayatri Devi is the Pranapana, Vyana, Udana, Samana, the Pancha Prana, the 5 different manifestations of prana. Shveta Varna, she is extraordinarily luminous. Fairness, white here means not ordinary color. The luminous color. Luminosity is Chaitanya Jyoti. Sankhyayana Gotra, the Gayatri Devi is the same as Brahma Gotra, as we say about Sharada Devi, Parabrahma Gotra. Chaturvimshatyakshara, the Akshara, the number of letters in Gayatri is Chaturvimshati, that is 24. Tripada, it has 3 feet, 3 padas, each consisting of 8 varnas. And therefore 8 into 3, 24. It is Chaturvimshati Akshara, Tripada, 3 padas, each having 8 aksharas. So Gayatri Devi, Gayatri Mantra has 24 aksharas. Shad Kukshihi, Pancha Shirshacha, the cavity, and 5 heads. Upanayane Viniyogaha. This is being taught to a brahmachari, to a spiritual novice, to a sadhaka who is invested with the sacred thread and to whom the Gayatri Mantra is to be given. After this invocation of the Gayatri, the actual mantra is given here. Before the mantra is given, there is a Mahavyahriti. Mahavyahriti is an important aspect of all Vedic mantras. It is Om Bhur Bhuva Swah. Bhur Bhuva Suvariteva Etas Tisro Vyahritaya. In the Taittiriya Upanishad. These are called Vyahriti or Mahavyahriti. Bhur Bhuva Suvaha. They are Sapta Loka, 7 lokas. And Bhur Loka is the Martya Loka in which we are. And it represents by Upalakshana, by implication, Bhur Loka and all the lokas below. They are supposed to be 7 Rasatala, Patala, etc., nether worlds. And Bhuvar Loka is the intermediate world, Antariksha Loka. Suvar Loka is the Swarga Loka, which also by Upalakshana, by implication, not only means Suvar Loka, it means Mahar Loka, Jana Loka, Tapo Loka, Satya Loka. So including the Bhur Loka, 7 plus 7, 7 including Bhur Loka above, 7 below, you have Chaturdasha Lokaha. 14 lokas are mentioned. I'll just read the mantra. We'll discuss in great detail because it's the most important mantra of the Vedas and of which Omkara is the supreme into which Gayatri is also merging. Shandha Gayatri te loy hoy, Gayatri Omkare loy hoy. Ultimately, the whole thing is subsumed, completely covered by Om. Om Bhuh, Om Bhuvah, Om Suvah, Om Mahah, Om Janah, Om Tapah, Ogum Satyam, Om Tat Savitur Varenyam, Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi, Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. ओमापो ज्योतिरसोमृतं ब्रह्मभूर्भुवस्सुवरो ओम शांति 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 हरि ओम तत्सत श्री रामकृष्णार्पणमस्तु।